Check that one. It's funny, we have like, in the last maybe month, we've had 2 different people pass that we use Earnnest. Oh, really? So I was like, and then like we came in here and we're smack down. Oh, wow. I never even heard of it before. One was a Bellers, and then I think that's how it's good. I think more popular in other, yeah. Oh, there's that one. All right.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Hey, my name is Blaine Wellgrave, and I'm the Director of Client Success at Earnnest. I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm not sure when I'm exactly supposed to be starting, so I didn't want to jump in too soon, but good to see you all today. I don't know if Carissa's in the room right now. I set this up with Carissa. Should I go ahead and get started, or should I give you all, do you have other meeting notes to get to, guys?
Please get started.
Good to get going?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. We really appreciate y'all being with us today. A little bit of backstory first on Earnnest, kind of how we were formed and our place in the market, guys. Earnnest was actually formed by a KW agent here in the upstate of Greenville, South Carolina. And kind of one of the motives behind it was to make sure that there was an efficient, secure way to move money with speed, but also more cheaply than traditional payment methods such as a wire. And then at the core was also the security. And what came about as Earnnest developed, though, and what's really made us unique is we have this world-class security. We've never had a fraudulent transaction or any kind of successful attempt on any of our transactions. And that's with 130,000 transactions now completed. We are purely digital, and we're digital in a way that harnesses the ACH network. So the same way a check travels, but digitally. So without all that information being put out on a piece of paper that the buyer doesn't want in the wrong hands, we're doing that. But we're also, on top of all that, moving the money quickly. So we harness the ACH network because we do so digitally. We've been able to increase our speeds of deposit over time. When we started, we were about the same speed as a check, 4 to 5 business days to deposit time. We've cut that in half. And because of technology like same day, for example, that the ACH now offers, a significant portion of our payments actually deposit the same business day, but an average of 2 business days to deposit time. But finally, what really has set Earnnest apart, guys, and I think this goes back to our being founded by agents, is we understand agent workflows. So a lot of folks in the digital earnest money space offer a one-size-fits-all approach. You send your payer to a portal. They punch in all the proper details and they go ahead, and from there, they pay their earnest money. Earnnest puts ourselves in the middle of the agent's workflow. We started out early. We were the first ones in the space to get into transaction management platforms and put our workflow seamlessly into transaction management platform workflows. And one of those early partners was KW and KW Command. So I'll show you just a brief overview of what we currently have within KW Command as our integration. It's a free app available within the marketplace. I'll also show you our most popular route. Doesn't really matter what brokerage agents are using. Our most popular route is our phone app. That's an award-winning phone app, 256-bit encryption, and most agents use it in about 90 seconds to send their request from anywhere they are. So we'll cover those two routes, but what I really wanted to begin this meeting with then is the exciting news. For us, we're very excited. We are now a KW strategic partner. Most of y'all may already know that, some may not, that's fine. But in July, KW is going to roll out a vastly improved KW Command Earnnest integration, where we will actually be featured within the opportunity, like directly within y'all's workflow. And the information from the opportunity will automatically populate any digital earnest money request made through Earnnest. So that request process should be literally a couple of button clicks, and you've sent out a secure earnest money request to your payer from right within the opportunity. So it'll be single sign-on, receipts will generate automatically. That is coming in July. With that said, guys, I'll share my screen and show you what we have today and leave time for questions as well. Just one moment here. I don't know if y'all saw earlier, Zoom was entirely down. There was actually a large scale internet outage at about 2 o'clock this morning, which affected a lot of worldwide technologies, but Zoom got affected about 9:58 this morning. So glad that Zoom is back up. We use that pretty liberally here. Sharing my screen now, guys. Let me know if you can see everything okay. Should be seeing the Earnnest website as well as a phone app simulator.
Yes.
Good deal, guys. All right, so Earnnest, how money moves in real estate. And again, I mentioned that we're the largest. Part of the reason is we have the largest collection of vetted escrow holders across all 50 states. We do all the hard work of making sure that every single escrow holder in our system has been securely vetted so that there's really no place to send the money but a secure escrow holder. And then we make getting the money to those escrow holders very, very easy, guys. Go ahead, admit here. So we're going to start out with the phone app. I mentioned it, award-winning. Thousands of agents are using this every month. It's our fastest source of growth. It's our most popular tool. So when you go to the Earnnest products page and you pull up the phone app, sorry for this going a little slower here, guys. While it's loading, I'll pull up the simulator here. It's going to look something like this, guys. And you could set that up with your Face ID, or you can go ahead and just go ahead and use your email address. We recommend like your KW professional business address, but there are no passwords to access this app. And it is free. It'll work with any phone system. It's free for you to use. And again, I mentioned that 256-bit encryption that will keep you safe at all points. But the actual layout of the app is very, very simple, guys. You only have 3 columns: all your active requests, all of your deposited requests, and anything you've chosen to delete for whatever reason. Maybe a deal fell through, right? That happens in these days. I mean, it's a busy time out there, and sometimes a deal will fall through. But that's all you've got, guys, those 3 columns that organize your requests. You've also got a simple menu tab here that can allow you, among other things, to call our support team straight from the app. You don't have to go digging on a third-party site for a phone number, right? Just come straight to this part of the app and go and click on support and make your call. From there, though, guys, we also made sure to include a quick how-to video as well. So if you go under the active section, you see here, there's this short video for those folks that are not very technology friendly. You know, it's not your cup of tea. It's a simple 60-second video to help you see the request from start to finish. But the most important part here, guys, is actually the request itself. I'm going to walk through this at a slower pace. But that said, this is the process: 6 screens, 5 inputs, that it takes an agent about 90 seconds nationwide. So I go ahead and request this payment. Yes, I have their email. Now, if you're in an area where listing agents predominantly determine who will hold, where their earnest money will be held, there's also a listing agent flow built in here. But we are seeing increasingly, like about 98% of our requests, even in areas where listing agents are picking or they're determining who will hold their earnest money, listing agents are still using this flow because it's not too hard for them to get the payer email. But if that is an issue, you can revert back to this listing agent flow. All right, I'm going to demonstrate this flow right here because it's the simplest. And again, 98% of our users are using it. So again, 6 screens, 5 inputs. The first one is just the property address, right? So this is actually connected to Google Maps. What's nice about that is unless your property is a brand new build, guys, you're really never going to have to finish typing out the address. It's going to be offered for you pretty quickly. And you can add in a suite number or apartment number. Let's say this is apartment 200, and then you're good on screen 1. Screen 2 is just putting in the earnest money amount. Screen 3 is that payer's email address. Again, this is what separates our buyer agent flow from our listing agent flow. But again, most cases, agents of all stripes are using this flow right here. Oops. And just as sometimes we're all busy, we type in the wrong letter here or there, it will just prompt you to double check that email address, since that is the way you're generating this request securely to the payer, right? So it has you double check it. I think this looks great. I go ahead and click it. Now this screen right here is how we replace wiring instructions or any other means of selecting your preferred funding source, right? Your escrow account. Now in you guys' case, this is just a demo app, but if I were in the live app, I'd be searching Newtown. That'd be the fastest way to find you guys because we have 180 Keller Williams market centers with us. So searching for Newtown will very quickly get you the right market center. Keep in mind too, when you put in that property address 2 screens ago, what you were doing there is eliminating 49 states from your search. I believe Newtown is available in New Jersey and PA. So you'll have 2 states that are available, but the other 48 won't even pull up. So you're only searching a much smaller segment of our escrow holder database, right? Now, being that this is the demo app here, I can't pull up Newtown, but I can show you how it works in that I've set up Best Escrow as my fictional escrow holder, right? And because I've used them more than once, they're actually already suggested for me, meaning I don't even need to use the smart search feature. Think of this feature right here as basically Netflix, right? It's going to start searching against what you type. So if I started typing out Newtown, it wouldn't take me long to pull up the correct account. With that said, once you've done it once, you won't need to do it again because it'll be here for you. You select that and you're on to screen 5, guys. And screen 5, again, you don't actually need to do anything. We automatically keep everyone in the loop with our custom receipt notifications. So every transaction that happens in Earnnest, we generate a receipt for. All right, we generate a paid receipt, and a couple business days later, we generate a deposit receipt. The paid receipt goes to everybody automatically on the transaction. No worries, you don't have to do anything. Agents will get it. All right, the payer will get it, and the back office. All right, your back office in Newtown is already set up to also get these receipts, allowing them to track these payments. So guys, what you can do though here is use the add recipient button, and we see a lot of agents taking advantage of this and including the email of their lender. Because the receipts have such great information on them, we even include the receiving bank as well as the sending bank account. Not the full information, but just the last parts of the name that we're able to capture from the ACH network. So we include all this information, and lenders love to get these receipts for that reason. With that said, though, otherwise you're on to screen 6, your final screen where you review to send. You can make edits to any section of the request right from here. Otherwise, though, you can swipe to send that request, and as it's doing that in real time, it will generate a secure request with a link straight to the payer. Now, what's cool about these initial transactions is you see here this transaction ID up here as well in the right corner. That transaction ID is generated by us. It is unique to that individual request that you just created, and it will follow the request all the way through its life. It'll show up on the paid receipt and the deposit receipt as a way for us to easily track, along with the property address and earnest money amount and things like that. That unique identifier will be with it all the way across. See here too how carefully we've been to design this. Payers can only go into this one way. None of the information entered here by you, the expert, can be changed by your payers. All right. They can only go through and have their identity verified, which takes seconds, and connect their bank via Plaid. Now, Plaid is the same technology that is used in Venmo and Zelle, and we use Plaid for a number of reasons. But one of the most important is, guys, is they do a sufficient funds check on most accounts that are selected by your payers. This means that while we can't eliminate insufficient funds, we can largely assure it doesn't happen because we're able to do with most accounts a real-time, one-time check of their account. And if they don't have the proper balance, let's say it's that $5,000 and they have $4,900 in the account they selected, we'll reroute them and make them either pick a different account or add more money to the selected account. So a nice feature for you guys working behind the scenes. With that said, guys, we also introduced them, you see down here, to our support team. Our support team is available from 8 in the morning to 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And that's Monday through Friday. So they can help your payers. In particular, we see a couple hundred payers a month come to our support team who've just never done a digital request of any kind, a digital payment. That still happens. So that's something that we're very well equipped to walk them through on, make sure they kind of hold their hand as they go through this. With that said, though, guys, here's the final feature of the phone app that agents really love, is when you go back to your main tab here, you can see here that the request I just generated at 12:13 p.m. Eastern Time, you can click on it as an agent and expand the activity here, and you can actually track your buyer's progress through the entirety of the request. Now, this feature only works in the buyer agent flow, which is another reason we see so many folks using it. We do hope to have the listing agent flow have this same feature at some point, but for right now, it's just the buyer agent flow. But you can literally watch your payer as they go all the way through, or if they haven't moved at all, let's say it's June 23rd now, right? You can resend this request and put it right back at the top of their inbox. Some of your payers are probably getting hundreds of emails a day, spam, all that other junk, and they're getting it across multiple email accounts. Many of your payers have several. You can put this right back at the top of their individual account that you sent the request to. So it's front and center for them. After they're done, after they hit the big green button in our request, as we call it, where they authorize the payment, right? You can actually follow this payment all the way across the ACH network as well. You'll know the exact moment it's cleared their account, as well as when it's deposited in the Newtown escrow accounts, okay? So we really try to be thorough in how we did this. And to give you an example here, guys, of how it actually looks live, I'll pull up our desktop app. Our desktop app is not something I was going to show you guys today because it's actually what our KW command is integrated with right now. So by showing you what I'm about to, if you go into KW command now and you go into the marketplace and you download the free Earnnest app, this interface is what you'll see. It is the same request details that you just filled out on the phone app. It just looks a little different. It's a property card. You'll punch in the same information here, guys, and that will allow you to send the request from a desktop experience from within KW command. That said, guys, I'll show a little bit more on that in just a second, but let me show you, since this is live, how that state filter works on your escrow account. Searching, it is as easy as putting in the 2 digits for the state, then selecting your escrow holder. This is the same search filter you saw in the phone app just moments ago, but this is live, so I can type in and get exactly what I need. And that name right there, that kind of Netflix search name, is linked underneath in our system to your escrow account and your escrow account alone, which means the money can only go to one place. There is no room here. There's no place for wire fraud because this isn't a wire. But most importantly, there's no place for a mistake, really. You're the agent, you're the expert, and you designate where the money will go from before the buyer even interacted with the request. That money is only going to move in that one direction. And that's how we do it. With that said, guys, I also want to take just a moment. As I mentioned, this is an interesting time for our KW trainings. We have 180 plus market centers using us today. Several others that aren't formally partners, but are using us that don't hold their own Earnnest money. With that said, we've got the other title companies in our network that they are using. So they're technically working with us. They're just not a formal partnership. With that said, what I'm showing you right now in probably 3 to 4 weeks time will no longer be accurate. This is our KW command integration page, our partnership page. You can go here and you can learn very quickly about our partnership. But most importantly, down here about 2/3 of the way down, you can learn how to use Earnnest within the KW marketplace. And you can actually get the guide right here for your business for how it works. And you can get started on it today. With that said, again, guys, in a couple of weeks, we'll have this updated with a much fancier, much more integrated setup for you guys. So look for that announcement coming soon. In the interim, I'm recommending to KW agents. It probably makes the most sense for you guys. Feel free to check this out if you want to. It's being used hundreds of times a month, which is great. That said, the phone app is the place where agents right now are predominantly using us. And that's probably a good place to stop for just a moment and see what questions we have, guys. Any questions at all about this? Fire away.
Yeah, I got a couple questions. Number one, were you saying you keep punching in, Keller Williams, Newtown, and it's coming up? said it automatically goes to one spot, you don't have a choice. There's a way to kind of like program that in, so you don't have to key that in, it automatically just does it.
Sorry, my audio on my side from you guys to me isn't great, but are you asking if once you've entered it in once, you won't have to enter it in again?
So you're saying that you can only have the money sent, one spot per agent. So why do you have to go in and, extra keystrokes to kind of type in, take out the, were you just showing us that as an example? Or when we actually use it, is that already going to be programmed in, so we don't have to do that?
Yeah, when you come to that fourth screen, if you will, you do have to select your escrow holder, but after you've done it once, all other times in the phone app, it's suggested for you. It's there waiting for you.
Okay, awesome.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, and then the second question is, how do you get the buyer's agent to want to use it? Because, when they get the email, I mean, if I wasn't with Keller Williams and I got an email like that and my client did, the first thing I would think of is, okay, someone's trying to pull fast one and get me to send money. But I wouldn't use it, number one, and then number two, if I did use it, I would call the agent, I would have to process it. So how do you get, I mean, is it just the nature of the beast, like over time, do you get people comfortable with using that from a buyer agent standpoint, or is there some tricks to the trade that helps you?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, and it's kind of like a multifaceted answer. So I'll try to keep it simple. One, I mean, even last year we were endorsed by PAR, for example. So I mean, that was a big step to our recognition. Our network in Pennsylvania blew up. With that said, what we've seen is most common in those cases is actually, in a lot of these cases, the buyer agents themselves. The listing agent will tell the buyer agent, download the app and send the request yourself. So it's coming from you, and just include me on the email screen so I get the receipts. And that is by far, far more common, the use case that we're seeing, than the one we just talked about here.
Okay.
Yep. That way the buyer has the confidence and the listing agent still is looped in. So it's easy as adding the listing agent's email address for the buyer agent, and the buyer agent can see the whole request and track it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. I hope that helps. Oh, that's good. Those are good questions, guys. Other questions? And does this seem like something you'd use? I always like to ask that question in these trainings. Does it seem like something that would be useful to your business?
Absolutely.
So is the next step to be able to use it to send any money, like even at like the closing table?
Yeah, that's a great question. We're working on that. We've got another product suite called ePro, and that is, we've got a handful. What's that?
I said it'd be a beautiful thing if it was a closed-end system where everything was processed that way. Getting equal eye.
We're working on it. There's still some challenges, but we've got another system called ePro that is specifically for that. But yeah, we're working on it. But our bread and butter is still the earnest money business. That's where we saw a pain point and we jumped on it, and it's proven to be an accurate assessment. There are thousands of agents like you that are facing the high gas prices. Their payers are facing it. They are in highly urban areas, 30 minutes to go to their bank to get a cashier's check. We're $15 flat fee for the buyers. Doesn't matter if they're doing 5,000 earnest money or 50,000 earnest money, it's flat 15, which is cheaper than most wires, and you don't have to worry about the receiving cost as well. So we found our niche with earnest money, and we will branch out. We've got other payment occasions we use now, but one of the keys to being still, you got to find a pain point and solve it, and we definitely found it. While you guys are thinking of other questions, there's one last piece of this. Because we were founded by agents, we don't just shove an app at you guys and go, good luck. We try to actually think through the entire thing. And one of the things we thought through as a company was, you guys don't need to be explaining Earnnest to either, in your case, buyer agents in some cases, or the buyers themselves. And so what we did is we provided free resources. One, you've got our success team, which I actually run. We come back and do these trainings, ultimately thousands of them every year. We love doing these. The Q&As that we do in these are probably the most valuable part of what we offer. That said, we have a full-on FAQ page with free resources for all levels of the earnest money and real estate process. And in particular, this real estate agent page really has some great resources. I won't take you guys through the entire thing here, but in particular here, right at the bottom, we put together these guides. that if you need to give something to a buyer agent who has questions about Earnnest, don't try to answer all those questions on your own. Direct them to this page. Like, for example, our most popular piece is the security guide. Payers and buyers agents are like, well, I got a buyer that's very concerned about security. I mean, average age of a buyer last year, I think, was like 33 or 34. They're pretty tech conscious. They're thinking through this stuff. I'm that way. I have MFA on all my I'm 36. I have MFA on all my devices. I've got, a LifeLock type service. I think about this stuff. I watch what happens. I'm also in South Carolina where, the state government gave away all our information about 6-7 years ago. So I think about this stuff, and so do a lot of people my age, right? With that said, we put this right there that you guys don't have to answer these questions. These are literally on this page, our most commonly asked buyer agent and buyer questions. Does Earnnest store my banking information? Absolutely not. Like, one of the genius things about Earnnest is that if someone broke into us, if someone breached our doors, which no one ever has, we don't have the information that they'd be looking for. It's not there with us. So we use our partners to make sure that our payers go through in a way where all their information is tokenized, i.e. it's not the actual information. It's a substitute for the information, and we don't even keep the tokenization. So there's a reason we've done 130,000 transactions that had no fraud. My point is, these pieces are designed to give good information, and they're also co-brandable. So if you got a buyer's agent that wants to send out this request and include you guys, or you're using the request, it's as simple as dragging your logo across a piece like this and giving this to the buyer, or giving this to the buyer agent to introduce them to Earnnest, which they in turn can then hand to their payer. All the pieces on this page from top to bottom are designed like this. We've had instances we learned very quickly where payers did not want to watch another video to know how to go through a process. So we put together a payment guide. This is probably our second most popular piece here, guys. Agents will just print this off, give it to the payer. There you go. Step by step of how to do this. And it's also co-brandable. So we really did try to put together an agent resource page. We've seen heavy traffic on these pages and heavy downloads. So we know we're in the right direction. Our agents would not have to explain Earnnest to anybody, because that's the last thing an agent needs, is one more piece of tech they have to walk a buyer through. We tried to make it as painless as possible for y'all. So please do take advantage of this. I'm going to drop this link for you guys, and these PDFs are all at the bottom of the page. But we wanted to make sure you guys had the resources to actually make this function, because y'all are running your own businesses, and no two agents do business the same way. We found that out over and over. So there is that for you guys. And what other questions do we have today, guys?
Will this allow us to transfer money from our Earnnest Money account to make a request to our title company for closing? Or is this just to collect the Earnnest money on the front end?
It is just to collect the Earnnest money on the front end at this point. We are looking at possibly bringing other features to the phone app, but that's still very tentative. It's not in this sprint. So right now it's just Earnnest money.
And I'll be able to make all the requests and do everything through KW command.
Yeah, I was hoping, actually, we're getting very close to the point where KW University and some of their tech folks will have screenshots for us, and we'll be able to start demoing it. We just don't have them yet. But the bottom line is, now you can go to our partner page and see a great video about how you can use the app in Marketplace, and agents are using it. It's popular. But we think when it goes in the opportunity, and keep in mind what it's going to do there, like, it's going to pull all your information into the request automatically. Like, if you got the property details, you'll click a button and they'll just come over. They'll be there when the integration pulls up. All you'll be doing is clicking your escrow holder and hitting send. So we're very excited about what this is going to mean for you guys in your workflow.
Well, the reason I'm asking is because as our team closing coordinator, I'm the one who sends out these emails and does it. So I'm going to be doing all of them. And I've got a group, so I won't be able to download an app. Because I'll have different, yeah.
Well, that KW command should really, improved integration should really help. And you could even try out the one today, see what you think of it. We've got request coordinators using it today. So good question. Other questions, guys? Or something I wasn't clear enough on? I want to make sure I have good confidence in the product.
I'm sorry, maybe it's a stupid question because I actually connected a little bit later. So as a buyer's agent, if we request for Earnnest for our buyers to be sent, that other brokerage firm has to be registered with you, or this is only on a KW site as a listing agent?
No, you can use it. You can always check our network for free too. It doesn't just have to be if it's KW side. We have a huge network in Pennsylvania. We have the largest escrow holder network in the United States officially now. All 50 states, even Hawaii's on board. So what you can do is, I'll share my screen here. You can.
So the other brokerage has to have a registration with you and account number set up to be able for us to send it, right? To the other properties.
That is correct. What I was going to show you
Okay.
here, I think I did the
Thank
wrong.
you.
Oh, no, you're great. What I was going to show you here, can everybody see this screen okay or no? Okay. How about now, guys? Everybody see the property screen?
No.
Nope, I did share. Sorry, guys, I'm on a dual monitor setup and I grabbed the wrong one. Give me one moment. Okay, you can search our entire network for free in seconds. We don't keep it a secret who's with us. Just put in PA or NJ for New Jersey, select your escrow holder, and I mean, you can start typing. I mean, shout out a name of a common one you might work with, just for example. We may or may not have them.
Remax Newtown, for example.
I don't know if we have them. No, just you guys. But that said, if you saw what I did there, guys, I'll type some gobbledygook here just so you can see. Inviting them, super easy. We have a team dedicated to watching one queue. And it's all the escrow holders who have been invited in our network. And because it's free for them to join, we have a really high success rate actually at getting folks to use it. It doesn't cost KW Newtown anything to use us. We're free for them. So if you take the time to just fill out this form, it's also available in the phone app, guys. Right from there, we've got a team that will reach out and work on getting these folks added to the network for you.
And when you type the PA and then you type only the city, that's how it actually found the other brokerage who signed.
Yeah, it's not even the property address. It's literally a state filter we set up so that 49 other states are blocked. But if I were to put in New Jersey, it'd only pull it was in New Jersey. Exactly.
Right. But when you click on that, I barely see actually the link, the green link that you clicked, right? Later.
Oh, yes. Yep.
And then you type only the city or the actual name of the brokerage firm you can do.
Yeah, the actual name, in some cases, the city too. It depends on what unique name the escrow holder who was registering with us picked. So in your guys' case, we'll go ahead.
So if you, for example, type Remax, is it going to open all the Remax brokerages in the area who signed up with you?
That's right. Now, Remax, I always tell people it's a little tricky. Remax drives us crazy in a good way. We love having them and they're great to work with, but some of them use the slash and some of them don't. And so just as you're typing, try a few different combinations of Remax. So as you can see, though, we got a bunch.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Good questions, guys. Other questions? Or maybe something I was unclear on again. Okay. Well, guys, it's really been a pleasure. We offer these trainings quarterly. If you have any questions at all, again, support is available right within the app, but reach out to my team. I'll drop my email address here in just a moment. But we try to really run a good success team here. We care. Again, we were founded by a KW agent, and I like to think that our service really shows that. We're here to answer questions. We're here to take suggestions. Every quarter, we add suggestions and features based on client feedback. We're actually, like, for example, we're cleaning up the listing agent flow emails, making them even more clear. Because we had some clients, not that a lot of clients use it, less than 2%, but we had some clients say, you could change this wording here on the email and make it even clearer. So we're doing that right now. Like, that's something our engineering team is working on this sprint. So please let me know how we can serve you. And hopefully this is something that saves you guys gas, time, saves your payers gas and time, and makes for a smoother process.
I have one more question. That $15, how is that paid? Is that upfront from your buyer? How's that get to you guys?
No, that's a great question. So it is paid right in the transaction when the payer is going through and pay. They agree to go ahead and pay the $15 as part of like our second to last screen. And when they go through and pay, the money literally goes in two separate directions. The $15 is headed to us. And let's say it's $5,000 in earnest money, that's headed straight to your selected escrow holder account. So we pay it there and we divide it out as the transaction goes out.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. You know, I didn't show you guys, I'm so sorry. I didn't show you guys our receipts. If you got just a minute longer, that's a slightly important feature. So you guys see the screen okay?
No.
Sorry, guys, it's taking just a minute. You should now, though. Is that good?
Mhm.
Perfect. I'll go back to our resources page here real quick, guys. So you can see I have a lot of tabs open. I need to probably work on that. And we'll go down here and receipts right here. So you can visualize what these look like right here. Let me zoom in just a little bit. There you go. So on the left, you see our payment receipt. And Michelle, you just asked about the $15. So you can see how we note that processing fee on the receipt. But then when you switch over to the deposit receipt, which comes, on an average of 2 business days later, there's no processing fee. So we don't get people confused. It's a one-time charge. And you can see all the constant information, like the transfer type, the request amount, when it was paid at. But then also the reason so many agents are tossing lenders onto their requests is because the lenders can see the originating account, the destination account, and the receiver, the escrow account receiver. So all that information is included. And then if you remember from way back at the beginning of this, I mentioned that unique ID following the request all the way through. That's at the bottom of each of these receipts. And that's generated by us. So from start to finish, we're committed to keeping all parties in the loop. And we also wanted to make sure this was something that could qualify as good funds. We wanted this to be something that NAR endorsed, all of these different groups. And we've been able to achieve that widespread recognition in the industry because of our care to these kind of details. All right. Any other questions, guys? And I'll give you back 23 minutes of your day here, which I know y'all can use. All right. Well, Chris, I don't know if you're in the room or not. Thank you so much for having me. Guys, thank you for being a part of this today. Let us know what questions you have, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.